Hi, my name is Christensen, and today I am pitching a movie idea called Jurassic: Rise of the Giants. This movie would be set during the Jurassic period around 170 million years ago. I chose the Jurassic because it gives the movie studio almost everything it needs: giant dinosaurs, a changing planet, warm forests, shallow seas, and dangerous natural hazards. My pitch is not just about adding dinosaurs for action. It uses real Earth science to build the setting. The geology, atmosphere, oceans, plants, and animals all work together to create a world that feels exciting, believable, and different from Earth today. This slide is the main boardroom pitch. The Jurassic period works as a blockbuster setting because it gives the audience instant excitement and also gives the story strong scientific background. Dinosaurs are already interesting to most viewers, but the setting becomes even stronger when we add breakups of Pangea, volcanoes, rift valleys, deserts, shallow seas, and thick forests. These are not random background details. They create action scenes, survival challenges, and memorable locations. The biosphere also gives us a full creature cast: giant sauropods for scale, Allosaurus for danger, Petrosaurus for skies, and marine reptiles for ocean scenes. That is why the Jurassic is a powerful movie setting. This slide places the movie in a geologic time. The Jurassic period lasted from about 201.3 million years ago to 145 million years ago, and it was the middle of the Mesozoic era. For the movie, I would set the story around 170 million years ago because this gives the setting a lot of variety. Pangea was still breaking apart, dinosaurs were already dominant on land, and environments were changed as new coastlines and ocean basins formed. This matters for the movie because the world should feel familiar enough for the audience to understand, but strange enough to feel like a true prehistoric adventure. The geosphere is one of the most important parts of this movie setting. During the Jurassic, Pangea continued to split apart. That created new rift valleys, coastlines, earthquakes, and volcanic activity. The early Atlantic Ocean and Gulf of Mexico began opening as the continents moved away from each other. The movie set could include red sandstone cliffs, wide rivers, valleys, floodplains, deserts, and smoky volcanic horizons. These details help meet the geologic requirements because they explain what Earth's surface looked like and how it changed. They also made the story more exciting because the land itself became dangerous and unpredictable. That adds even more detail to the geosphere by turning Earth's surface into movie set pieces. Rift valleys could create cliffs, fault lines, and sudden earthquake scenes. Ancient deserts could become wide travel scenes where characters are exposed to heat, predators, and little shelter. Floodplains and river valleys would be realistic places for dinosaurs to gather because they provide water, plants, and muddy areas where fossils could later be preserved. These environments are useful because they make the movie setting feel connected to real geology. The characters are not just walking through a random jungle, they are moving through a changing planet where continents are pulling apart. The atmosphere during the Jurassic period was much warmer than today. It was a greenhouse world, meaning the climate was generally warmer and there is no evidence of major polar ice sheets like we have today. Higher carbon dioxide levels help create warm conditions as Pangea split apart. New ocean areas changed moisture patterns. For the movie, this atmosphere would create a very strong visual mood. Scenes could include heavy rain, warm haze, steamy forests, foggy valleys, and dramatic storm lighting. The atmosphere also connects to the biosphere because warm humid regions support large forests, and those forests help feed giant herbivores. This slide explains how climate can become part of the conflict in the story. The Jurassic atmosphere was not just a background fact, it could affect every scene. Heat would make long travel harder for the characters, humidity would create fog, slippery ground, and low visibility. Heavy storms could hide predators or force characters into unsafe areas. Warm and wet regions also support huge plant growth, which created dense forests where animals could be hidden. I like this idea because it shows that the environment itself can act almost like another villain. The weather, heat, and fog make survival more difficult while still staying connected to the real Jurassic conditions. The hydrosphere, or water part of the Earth, gives the movie another layer of danger. During the Jurassic shallow seas covered parts of the continents at different times, new ocean basins formed as Pangaea split apart. These seas were filled with life including ammonites, plankton, fish, and large marine reptiles. A movie set in this period should not treat the ocean as a safe escape from dinosaurs on land. Instead, the ocean becomes a new threat. A scene could show characters trying to cross a shallow sea at night, only to realize that something large is moving under the water. That connects the hydrosphere directly to the story. This slide builds on the ocean idea and makes it more scientifically accurate. Since Pangaea was breaking apart, coastlines, lagoons, shallow seas, and ocean basins were changing. These areas would create realistic places for danger and exploration. It was also important to choose the right creatures for the time period. For example, Mosasaurus is a popular movie, but it belongs to the Cretaceous period, not the Jurassic. A more accurate Jurassic sea threat would be a plesiosaur or an ichthyosaur. This makes the movie better because it can still be exciting while showing that different prehistoric animals lived during different geological periods. This slide covers plant life, which is a part of the biosphere. Jurassic forests would not look like modern forests with grass lawns and flower fields. Flowering plants became dominant later, so the Jurassic set should focus on plants like conifers, cycads, ferns, ginkgos, horsetails, and other gymnosperms. This helps the movie feel ancient and believable. The plants are also important because they support the animals. Giant herbivores needed a large amount of vegetation, and dense plant life would also create suspense by hiding predators. For set design, I would use fern-covered ground, cycad grooves, tall conifer skylines, muddy river banks, feeding trails through the forest. This slide goes deeper into how the Jurassic forest should be built for the movie. The canopy could be made of tall conifers, which would make sauropods look even larger as they feed high above the ground. The understory could include ferns and horsetails to give the forest an older, prehistoric look. Cycads and ginkgos would fill the middle layer and help avoid a modern-looking forest. Small details such as cones, fallen logs, mud, and trampled feeding paths could make the set feel alive, and these plants would also help the plot because dense vegetation could hide predators while open feeding paths could become chase lanes. The Jurassic animal life is the biggest audience hook for this movie. Giant herbivores like sauropods would create awe and shows the scale of the world. Allosaurus would be the main predator and could create chase scenes and constant tension. Stegosaurus adds armored defense with its plates and spiked tail. Flying reptiles and early birds would make the sky feel alive, and marine reptiles would make the oceans dangerous. I would also include small mammals at ground level to show that the ecosystem had more than just giant dinosaurs. This creature cast helps meet the biosphere requirement because it includes many types of animal life from land, air, and sea. This slide shows that every creature in the movie has a story purpose. Sauropods provide wonder and scale because they make the audience feel tiny inside the prehistoric world. Allosaurus become the main threat because it is a Jurassic predator, unlike T-Rex, which belongs to the Cretaceous period. Stegosaurus creates a defensive action because its body armor and tail spikes make encounters unpredictable. The Archaeopteryx can act as a clue about evolution because it connects dinosaurs and birds. The Plesiosaurs, small mammals, and marine reptiles expand the world beyond one predator. This makes the movie more accurate and more interesting. This turns the science into a full movie story. The logline is that coastal rifts opens near a sauropod nesting ground, and a group of explorers must cross a desert cliff, cycad forest, and a shallow sea before predators find them. The geosphere creates the rifts, cliffs, and earthquakes. The atmosphere creates heat, storms, and low visibility. The hydrosphere creates dangerous sea crossings. The biosphere creates the forests, herbivores, predators, and flying reptiles. This is why the Jurassic works so well as a movie setting. The science does not sit separately from the plot. The science becomes the plot. The Jurassic period wins because it gives spectacle, conflict, science, and marketing appeal all at the same time. The spectacle comes from giant dinosaurs and huge landscape. The conflict comes from rift, storms, predators, and shallow seas. The science comes from real evidence about rocks, climates, plants, and animals. The marketing appeal comes from the fact that dinosaurs are instantly recognizable. But this version stands out because it uses accurate details. The geosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere and biosphere all support the movie idea. That is why the Jurassic period is the best proposed time period for a new film. Thank you for listening to my presentation.